It's time for a 4v4 Forged Alliance. Little treat here. We'll get game number 2 in, and then my voice will have had it. This one, a very high, almost bordering on pro level 4v4 on Canis, or Adaptive Canis River. Average rated 1621. Time to come in there. You can see the teams. And coming on over then, 99% balance with the AIs, which means that's nice for me. It's the fires versus the culls. And not only that, what I really like about this one is people have chosen names that I feel I can read without making a dog's ear out of. Dog's ear. Instead, I'll make a dog's ear out of the expression dog's ear. Unpausing then, bringing us into the game. Starting then with the fires. Teams 1 right at the top. It's Luca, 1964 rated. He's going Sarah and First Land. To his right, we have Flying Olsen. He's going First Land as well. This guy rated at 1611. To his right, it's another Seraphim. It's Exited. He's orange. Him rated 1544. And then in the front position, the final player for Team 1 there, it's Accident Leon, who's also playing Seraphim, coming in at a 1335 rated, the lowest player there for Team 1. Moving then over to the south side, we'll start in the rear again. It's Azuros, 1770 rated. He's going Cybran First Land. Over to his left-hand side, it's Eternal, 1522 on the rating. He's going Aeon, also First Land. To his left, we've got our first UEF guy. It's Kelly. Saw this guy on the other video today on the 1v1. Nice to see him appearing in a couple of games that we happen to be streaming. 1616 on the rating. And then last but not least, for Team 2, and indeed the game overall, on the front, it's another Seraphim guy. Seal Force, very much like Space Force. And when I hear Space Force, I find it very hard to take seriously. It sounds as much of a joke as it was. Well, let's leave politics out of it. I think some of you knew where I was kind of edging with that. But for those who didn't, it's a joke, innit? Right, that said, jokes aside, back to the game. That was a real quick intro. I didn't even have to slow the game down. Everybody moving in as we get towards the second minute. Engineers expanding in all the usual ways. No very, very, very early bomber. Sometimes on Canis, as used to seeing a very early bomber rush from someone. Doesn't look like we've got that. We see Eternal... Sorry, correction. Sea Force. Going to end up calling him Space Force. Already with the 2 land factories, which is nice to see. Eternal just getting his second one on the line now. The second one being air. Kelly already with the settings. Azuros also with the second up on the north side. Lucas still operating on the single factory, although he's looking to expand over here. Flying Olsen has got 2, the second one being air. Accidental Aeon still just operating on the single factory as well as Exited. We'll have to see if having the second factory early pays off. And Eternal now with the bomber here as we're getting on to minute 3, leading the way with the scout. We also have Azuros with a dropship here, 4 NGs aboard, also leading the way with the scout. I assume that's so he doesn't drop NGs into somewhere that's painful. Very nice way of I guess ensuring the safety of your scouts. And Eternal there picking off the first NG, moving in. Does he get any more? Well, he should do. He's had a read. It's a hover bomb. Oh, I thought he was going to hover bomb. He does pick off the second NG there. He's already got an inti. In fact, he gets 3. Must have just been 1 coming out the factory. He's got a fighter on his 6. And he goes down. 3 kills, all of which seem to be against Accidental Aeon there, whose ACU is already halfway across the field. Two on one on the inties there as well for Flying Olsen. But Eternal with some very nice intel here for his team. A couple of scouts Another bomber moving in, this time from Kelly. But it looks like it's already been picked up. Flying Olsen on the ball with his interceptors, and that bomber from Kelly is going to go down for naught. Very well played, Flying Olsen. Eyes in the back of his head, or one on the game and one over on the radar screen. Either way, playing a blinder so far inside the first 5 minutes, defending the skies on behalf of his teammates, and also moving in with his commander as well, taking on a couple of units there on the ground belonging to C-Force. Yeah, I'll say it before and I'll say it a million more times. I'm a huge fan of this Fieries versus the Coolies that the AI gives. Team 1, all the fiery warm colours. Team 2, all the cooler, bluer colours. It just makes life so much easier. Not just for casting, but, you know, if you're playing this in the heat of the moment, it's just so easy to see who's on whose team. You're not got to remember which colour's which and have them switch around every single game. Azuros with the little lab run by there, able to pick off a couple of NGs, but I don't think he's going to get much more done. He's got a Tham after him, and looks like he is indeed going down there. Accident Leon getting the gun. That's 25% done. Reckons it'll be complete in a minute. Is he able to afford that? Well, I don't see why not. Approaching the 6th minute. ACU and ACU over on the left. Luca versus Kelly, and he's also got some support in there from Flying Olsen. So Flying Olsen seems to be everywhere on the map at the minute. A real team player helping out everybody. And Kelly here, ACU down to, well, almost half versus an ACU that's almost full. Luca does, however, abandon the chase, realizes he doesn't have enough units to continue pressing, and Eternal. Is that just a solitary engineer C-Force, I beg your pardon, moving in here, who does have the gun, very nice. Able to pincer off and cut off any reinforcements there from Luca, at least from the obvious bridge connection. Granted, Luca does have a couple of factories down here, so it wouldn't have been entirely cut off, but it was it would have been dicey. And looks like C-Force wants to make this gun upgrade pay that he's rushed. He's just balls to the wall, pushing through. Is he going to carry on pushing? It looks like he's trying to cut off a little run by. It's a very little run by. Perhaps he realizes he's got no more real units to deal with. What weird that from flying out the smallest of run-bys completely catches out C-Force. I'm sure he would have carried on pushing if it weren't for those 6 or 7 units that caused him to come out of position. You can see now he's moving back in. I say he's moving back in. He's moving in for the reclaim, that's for sure. Meanwhile, over on the east side, we got a couple of ACUs from Team 2 helping each other out with the gun. Looks like Azuros is the one going for it. Did he cancel? No, it's complete. I beg your pardon, it's complete. Question is he going to get there in time to stop this run by? You see, there's a handful of units here from Azuros, but not that many. Most of these units here are engineers. And down goes one of the factories. That leaves 2. Looks like exited is, I was going to say wise to the approaching engineer ACU, but perhaps not. He was retreating. He then comes back for some more. Now realizes that there is an ACU with gun and redoubles his efforts to retreat. Chucks away a couple of bombers there, go after the Hydra, managed to get it halfway damaged. I think the real prize would have been these engineers that are working on these factories. I guess he wasn't to see that. Taking another look, Flying Olsen now with a couple here. Jesters once again helping out his teammates across the board. Luca in the back. Didn't quite catch what upgrade he was getting. We'll have to check back soon. Meanwhile, we've got a couple of Tech 2 gunships here from Eternal and a little run by from Accidental Aeon. Accidental Aeon requests air support, and it looks like Eternal moving in to cut that air intercept mission off. Nice teamwork here from Team 2. Able to deal with that air from Flying Olsen, and this may hand air control or air dominance over to Team 2, which is kind of crucial because they're relying on these gunships to keep Accidental Aeon out, and Accidental Aeon at this point is going to have to think about turning round. He's run out of supporting units, he's got air over the top of him, he's got naught to deal with it, and the Aeon gunships do pack quite a punch, quite a slow reload time. But every time they shoot, they never used to be as good as this back when I played. However, Team 2 does lose their expansion over on the east extreme there. I think it belonging to Azuros. Not satisfied though. Back over on the west side, Kelly with a big run by. Forces Flying Olsen to, well, jostle. They're jostling back and forth, kiting to and fro. I wonder at this point what is C-Force doing. It feels like Kelly's needed him over here. Oh, well, his ACU's being aggressive. Problem is he doesn't really have many units that can follow him over. Yeah, a couple of floaty flaks, that'll help. Is he going to pick this forward base off from Accidental Aeon? Well, he's moving a couple of Ilshis round as well. An Accidental Aeon in a right spot of bother down here. Eternal and all. Is this going to be a twofer? Got Eternal, the 1522 rated. Less than 1,000 hit points left. We've got Accidental Aeon at 5,000 and some. Problem is, if Team 2 torpedo bomb Accidental Aeon, the splash damage from the ACU will take out Eternal. But if Eternal goes down, Accidental Aeon is going to be that damaged he may not be able to get away. But look at the hit points flying back on Accidental Aeon. He has got to have the nano repair. We said he was less than 7,000 at the start of that sentence. He's now up to 8. Oh my goodness! How many hundred of hit points a sec is that dude? He's now up to 11,000 hit points. He was less than 7,000 a moment ago. Granted, it looks like he got another star of vet, but still. Now back in the green. Well, this is going to be a huge concern for Team 2. You've got such a strong ACU in your base that's seemingly got unlimited ability to heal itself. Well, that's the best way to deal with, especially Aeon, the Tech 2 point defense. And that is making him think twice. Accidental Aeon backing off, and if they can keep here with the Oblivion turrets, yeah. Well, I don't care how many nano repair kits you've got, there's only so many Oblivions you can take to the face before that no longer applies. His health wiped right back down. Eternal, meanwhile, getting a free ride here. Is this the guy that was... Oh, that's the guy that was almost dead. Still kind of dicey to be on the back of a transport for extended period. Meanwhile, C-Force, who was a little quiet 2 or 3 minutes ago, now really bulldozing his way through, causing Flying Olsen to regroup his units in defense. Although Flying Olsen does get some nice damage out with his ACU. Perhaps C-Force was a little out of position. His ACU behind his units, not in front. And as soon as Flying Olsen recognizes that the ACU has moved back into the correct position, he pulls back. C4 does have a couple of Tech 2 flaks here, so it's not going to be just a piece of cake for Team 1 to attack. And finally here, Accident Leon does go down, bites off more than Chew. I guess he just thought, well, they know I'm there, I can't get away. The torpedo bombers were already after him in the water. I guess he thought I might as well try and do some damage while I can, but you know, what do you do? He was between a rock and a hard place. There was nowhere for him to go, despite the nano repair kit. Going down on the 14th minute then. Team 1, player down. Full share being on. Oh, what's this? A loyalist with 17 kills. Doesn't look like he's going to get too many more. 18, 20, 21. Mainly build capacity. Finally eats a strat to the face, and that finishes him off. It does seem like he managed to get at least 3 mechs there from Exited. And now the strat that dealt the deed is moving on down. Puts his stealth generator on, led by a small screen of ASF. Probably more to gather intel than to defend. Here comes the bomb then. Takes out 2 Tech 2 P-Gens belonging to Eternal. That'll hurt, since as he hasn't finished his quantum reactor, although there is a quantum reactor here from one of his pals, Kelly, so that'll help. Strat now with 5 kills and ground firing so he can get max effect there. Taking off 2 capped off Tech 2s from Azoros. Is going to get 2 more capped off from Kelly. Very nice. Went for the next bomb. Looks like a slight misclick, slight miss time, or the angle was slightly off. Somebody does manage to get a SAM site, but the bomb does come off. What a run there. 30 kills, and a lot of those kills have been high value targets. Flying Olsen playing a blinder. Meanwhile, flip side, C-Force with a nice little run by here. A couple of siege tanks looking to get some of his own back, and with the SAM site up, the strat bomber from Flying Olsen does eventually go down. Got about 1 million Tech 1 bombers. We're seeing this tactic more and more and more. Players just chucking Tech 1 bombers, even after very highly, superior land forces. I guess eventually you will tickle them to death. Is he going to go after the ACU? He is. Azuros, get your dancing shoes out, pal. No, that's not how you dance. You walk right into them all. Azuros there, shedding hit points, and he's now got a huge army bearing down on him. He's got a couple of loyalists, but he's going to get tangled up in these units even if he can dance. And not only that, Exited with his ACU. Azuros, I think, is going to be signing out minute 17. There he goes. Well played there from Exited. Brings the score back to 3, or 1-1 if you like. 3 ACUs left apiece. Flying Olsen now with Whalers, taking out this little, what was threatening to be a run by from Kelly. Kelly now pulling it back. He does have a couple of flaks here underneath the mobile shields. That's probably the best counter you're going to get against Tech 3 bots. Certainly with the Cougar SAM as well, that is a nice counter to him. And you can see there, Flying Olsen thinks, yeah, sod this. I'm not hanging around. I'm going to move somewhere else that's less well defended. And here we go. Eternal with about 6 ASF looking to take on these Whalers, as well as a couple of ASF belonging to Flying Olsen. But I do think now numbers are with Eternal. Takes down the ASF and one of the Whalers. Takes down another Whaler and the third and the ASF. That's going to leave a little bit of reclaim here. See if Well, there's quite a lot of reclaim in addition to the mass point there. 4,000 or 5,000, which will more than pay for the lack or the pause in production of the Tech 2 mass point they were sent to kill. Eternal now getting fantastic trades versus his Tech 1 bombers with his ASF. Exited, starting to get a little out of position. What's he doing? Overcharges the brakes, but he's got no support. He's got one T1 AAA unit. That's not going to be worth anything. And he says in chat, I'll die for the greater good. Well, yeah, I don't think it takes much of a crystal ball to figure that that's on the cards anyway. And when he says greater good, I mean, how? Maybe thinks his teammates can do something better with his base. Exited even though he's rated 1544. He's the lowest rated guy left on his team. Give you some idea on what these guys, the caliber that they're at. And it looks like a Team 2 just going to leave him be? Or are they going to try and pick him off? But it's like Kelly, I thought he was going to move in with his Tech 1, but looks like he's thinking twice about it. Quick update then in the 20th minute. We'll have a little look on mass incomes. It's 326 to Team 2, 355 for Team 1, so certainly inside 10% or so. Team 1, the fire is slightly in favour, but once these Othams have dealt the damage, now just a few mass points and suddenly it's even again. Exited, reclaiming as much as he can before his death, no doubt on behalf of his team. Mercy's moving in. He's got 2,000 hit points left. The problem is, Team 2 have got so much air that, alright, well, we'll spam torpedo bombers out instead. Kelly even ground firing some Tech 1 bombers. And Exited trying his best to dodge, but you can't dodge torpedo bombers. Exited. About to go down. Boom, there he goes. Minute 21, 46 seconds. Exited. Taken out by the torp bombers. I'm not sure if he intended to die the whole time or if he sort of trundled on down here and suddenly thought, oh shit, I'm stuck. And just decided to play it down. Oh, you know, I'm just here to die for the greater good. Luca now, for the first time, pushing down on the western side. All the attacks on the west have been going in the northerly direction. So this is the first time we're seeing a reversal on that. Team 1 deciding to make some moves down here. I guess feeling like they've got to do something somewhere after just losing their pal. Players 3-2 now, favouring Team 2. Just 20 mass or so separating the two players per tick. And those masses are in favour of Team 1 and Flying Olsen. Is it just me, or is he basically controlling 3 bases and Luca's controlling his start position and a couple of expansions? That's what it looks like. So the weaker player for Team 1 controlling the majority of the economy. And yeah, Flying Olsen bringing in 280. Luca 144. Kelly 177. Seaforce 167. And Eternal just 70. Azuros to his allies, Spink from the On the Grave says, upgrade these. You see there almost a 0 time response from Kelly. Begins upgrading them. That's a lot of jesters for this stage of the game, and they were able to take out the Othams. We've got 20 jesters here from Kelly. A very weak unit at this point in the game. But I guess if you've got air dominance and the other guy doesn't send AAA, they're still going to get perfect trades. Once again, what I love to see high-rated players do, just the solitary unit on the run-by, not enough to freak out the opponents. You know, they see it coming, and in all likelihood, just reckon it's an engineer on reclaim. Notice that there's no immediate response from Flying Olsen. I mean, that isn't to say he won't respond at some point. He'll certainly respond once he sees what it is. But notice, seems to be a very effective way of attacking your opponent, or at least getting a head start on an attack. Problem is, if you run it into, well, this is basically 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, then with the sniper bot, maybe the brick will go down for naught. We'll have to see. It's going to be close, and it does go down. Still A for effort, and if you could follow it up with another solitary brick, that may fare much better, unless of course Flying Olsen has a new Otham waiting for it. Feels that Team 2 are very weak here on the extreme. Sure, they've got four purses. I'm not saying that's nothing, but versus this many Othams, 16, 4 purses feels like a weak defense. Flying Olsen with a nice formation here as well. I do like the Tech 3 Seraphim mobile shields. It was always something that I really liked about the UEF, was the mobile shield. And then they had to go and make a third race and give them one and all. Granted, I guess Aeon kinda got the floaty shield as well, but for some reason, unless you're talking Rambo Commandos, I don't see Aeon players using the mobile shields anything like as much as the UEF. Again, unless we're talking about Rambo ACUs, then they spam them out almost exclusively at times. Used to get mixed a lot with Navy as well when I used to play on the set on the Aeon players. And at one point we even had a ban on race mixing on the Navy, because it was like, you know, if you could put, you know, you get your jammers from the Cybrans, your walking destroyers, you get your cruisers from Seraphim and UEF, you get your UEF shield boats. Your Tech 2 floating shields from Aeon, your Tech 2 floating flak from Aeon. I mean, you had like extremely strong Navy that was almost impossible to take out unless you could nuke it. I realise there have been a shed load of balancing changes since then, but at one point it was considered very OP to race mix the Navy. I'm not sure if any sort of rules or unwritten rules like that still exist. Very cheeky little run by here from Flying Olsen with a few engineers looking to capitalise on this mass. Chicken bot from C-Force, meanwhile, pushing right on through, and looks like he is going to get some real nice territorial and economical gains up there. And if he can get this Tech 3 land HQ from Flying Olsen, that's going to be huge. See, Flying Olsen is moving in with his mobile shields and his Othams. Is he going to take it on? I guess he thinks, well, there's too much backup. Anything else taking place? Well, a large contingent of siege tanks here from Luca. We saw those 2 or 3 minutes ago. Looks like he's trying to creep those through the water. Does Team 2 have any idea they're coming? They ain't a clue. Not a clue. And if that remains the case, that could be a very large force right on Team 2's doorstep. They're going to have almost no notification. Nice pick up there. The Tech 3 Land HQ belonging to Flying Olsen. We do now got the megalith from Flying Olsen, and that is being moved on in with the existing Tech 3 units that I thought he was maybe thinking about attacking before. Well, with the megalith, I doubt there's going to be much to think about. Looks like Team 2 finally wise to what's going on here, and Luca, for whatever reason, decides to just completely stop moving. I'm not sure what his thinking there is. At least pull him back or do something. Don't just let him go down for naught. And looks like finally he's looking to pull them back. Maybe he's thinking about trying to get some triple air, and he has indeed moved a lightning tank on in. And Flying Olsen does have a shed load of ASF finally moved in as well. You thought over here, that's not going to get that much done with that many broadswords on the case. But that said, Flying Olsen has got so many ASF. I guess it's ASF on ASF first. Crucial engagement. Broadswords, unfortunately, are going to be the last priority. And with the air engagement lost, those broadswords pulling away, leaving the Athota with like 20% health. Perhaps a bit of a mistake. Megalith over here with a few kills. They're just going to be some of these isolated Tech 1 units. Tech 1 NGs. These artillery units, these Tech 1 artillery spam shouldn't be allowed to advance this far in. Taking out superior, if you want to call it that, certainly more costly units, tactical missile defenses, land factories. Flying Olsen does finally move into position to deal with a counter push here now from Kelly over on the west again after that chicken came through. Didn't really get very much done thanks to those broadswords. There are a lot of wrecks though over here. That's a lot of mass. 2 and a bit, 4 and a bit, 18. Yeah, there's about 20,000 mass there in that area. Hello. Hello, light bulb eye. How are you doing? Well, he's just chilling via this big hill. Looking for an engaged... And experimentals pouring out left, right and centre. And I don't think I've ever seen such a 50-50 split for a game that's into the second part of the half hour. Or the second part of the hour, if you like. After half an hour. It's like right down the middle, 50-50. Maybe a smidgen more for Team 2. Right on the eastern flank, but now we'll just forget about that. Sounds better to say 50-50. Certainly cannot call this one, not by a long shot. Luca getting his Tech 3 on the Seraphim ACU. Anybody going farm yet? Well, it looks like Flying Olsen is starting his air grid. We've got some, the fab mass and the mass storage. So Luca's starting to farm. Question is he producing the RAS presets to fund his farms? I'm not seeing how he's going to fund it, at least not yet. Little air engage, and over the top there of Team 1's base, who do have the SAM sites and enough numbers, forcing Eternal there to pull back. Kelly with a couple of very limited probing attacks here with his Percy's. I'm not sure what he intends to get done, but Percy versus Chicken Bot, not very much. This Percy goes into the drink, gets instantly torpedoed by about 1 million thams. And while the torpedo damage on a tham isn't great, when you've got 1 million of them it is. And oh my god, some ground fires from strats. 2 strats ground fire takes out 6 thams. The third one thrown in for good measure. Now if they can do, are they going to be able to do that again? I guess they just need a bit of intel unless he remembered it. Put another ground fire right about there. Finally, now the megalith moving in is still just taking shots at this crap, but it's starting to add up. 51 kills now. We got a second megalith over here. Well, this here is quite an expensive run by. This ain't just your Tech 1 spam. These are loyalists, and you've got a megalith bearing on down. Surely you're not going to chuck away an entire contingent of loyalists to take out a couple of Tech 2 mechs. And it's like Kelly says, no, I'm not. I've got it. Calm down. I know what I'm doing. And it looks like he is going to be able to get the majority of those away. The megalith's cannon, I didn't know, able to shoot above the cliff face there. Getting some real nice trades on the retreating loyalists. I wouldn't have known that. Wow. 14 kills on that megalith, and I bet at least 10 of those were high value loyalists. He's going to be able to pick up another there. And what we got here? A satellite from C-Force. Used. Surprise, surprise. Aggressively moving over onto the very northwestern side of the map, and I assume he's going to go for these undefended ion reactors. Why not when there's 2 of them right there? We see pings going down. Takes off almost half of its health, so I'm guessing it needs 3 blasts to finish it. Luca quickly trying to get a Tech 2 shield up. Sat zaps the shield. That's its second shot done. I would have thought it had some energy left to continue shooting, but apparently no. Luca needs to work on another shield. Sat meanwhile has another good go at the ion reactor. Luca waits until he finishes shooting, then starts again on the shield generator, and this time I'm almost sure he's going to be able to finish it, and indeed he does. Nice save there. He's going to have to carry on. Another decent air engage over on the west side. Very nice catch there. Kelly, keep pushing, keep pushing. He aborts, but he is going to pick up a load of strat bomb. Oh, he pulls away though. He could have carried on. C-Force recognizes it, does get one more at the very end. Couple of units almost getting into Team 1's base there are picked off. Running rings around the experimentals. Leave much in the way of wreck? Nah, not really. A lot happening very quickly all of a sudden all over the map. Luca Chicken dealing with some T1 spam. And I don't know how many megaliths you want to let Flying Olsen build up, but at some point he's going to walk them all in formation towards your base. And they're going to be almost impossible to kill. But is this Tech 1 spam seriously going to take out another capped off Tech 2 mechs? The last round of artillery finishes it off. Beautiful. Eternal showing that the spam does sometimes still pay for itself. The sat here as well from C-Force aborts the attack over there, having been shielded up. The majority of Team 1's base is now shielded up, but the sat still has a few isolated targets. This Omni sensor would be worth going for. And it looks like he may be thinking about it. Oh no, he's still going after the T3 mechs. One more good blast and that's done. Looks like Flying Olsen now is starting to get a little more aggressive. Starting to push down. Luca over on the west side's pushing down as well with at least 3 chicken bots and a load of flak and SAM units. Kelly, you need to start thinking, pal, what you're going to do, because is that going to be a sacrificial chicken bot? Well, he's going to have to keep walking it in, and I guess that's his intention. I'm going to walk that in. Chicken bot goes down very fast. I was surprised. That was a full health chicken bot. Wow. There must have been about 5 or 6 strats there that just disintegrated thanks to all that AAA from Luca. Flying Olsen looking very strong in the air. I'm starting to feel a little even though at a glance it looks like Team 2 are above 50%. The way those last few engagements have gone Team 1's way, it feels just, I'm thinking 55-45 in favour of Team 1. The fiery colours slightly in favour here. And they're pushing down on the west again. Luca, 3 chicken bots, granted. Some of them are half damage. We've got a fatty here. Now, if that can be used nicely from C-Force, that may work. We have a nuke out from Team 2. But Team 1 able to build a nuke defense in time? Well, we're about to find out. Minute 41, no nuke defense. That is the best spot ever for a nuke into a base that's undefended. Flying Olsen has gotta be feeling bad after that. You thought it was going to go down. Fatty here. Fatty number 2. Going down. 1 fatty remains. These Percies are going to have to get out of the way of that Iron Storm. The second chicken looks like it's trying to chase down the fatty. We've got a shed load of broadswords. Pick them up, pal. Pick your broadswords up. What's this? Finally, they're getting pinged. A lot of those broadswords went down to the Iron Storm from that initial chicken. The second chicken going down. A shed load of strats are going to get through. They're going to pick off the fatty. He says the fatty's got a little bit of health left at any... Oh no, they're not going to go around. They're chaining up the attack. And are they chaining up a third? No, they fall down harmlessly now to the back of Kelly's base. But Team 1 are not giving up. They've got at least another 2 bots. They've got the AAA. They've got some supporting THAMs and the all-important Megalith. I tell you what, he's up against a chicken with shield, with supporting THAMs. Broadswords. Megalith finally goes down. How does that feel, Light Bulb Eye? You happy about that? Oh, not for long. Light Bulb Eye walks into yet another Megalith. Chicken bot from C-Force doing great and then dies. Uh-oh. Ass washer in from Luca. Oh. What a juicy target with all those ion. Oh, the shield just coming on in time. Apologies for missing what went on down here, but it's a 2v2. Aeon Bomber goes down almost for naught. In fact, its own wreckage causing more damage than it did itself. Chicken on defensive job here. Kills off the Ythota that's invading the base. And while I was saying things going well for Team 2, meanwhile, Teams 1's base with a little run by after that nuke doesn't look like it's faring much better. And fire, what we're doing here, 44th minute. Both teams causing each other horrific wounds. And it's not over yet. We've got yet another megalith coming down from Team 1. Have Team 2 got anything left to repel it? Looks like they're all trying to work on just restoring a line. We've got a half damaged Ythota. The megalith pulls away. I'm not sure that's... it's coming back. He realizes his mistake. Chicken Butt begins pursuing the Mega. We've got a satellite in back of Team 1's base. We've got a couple of loyalists that are in a nice position here. They're probably not going to get loads done, but they're just going to continue picking off and harassing. It's this megalith that concerns me. Chicken Butt's getting a load of free shots in and some retreating loyalists here. Thing is, if the Mega kills the Chicken Bot, its Ion Storm's going to finish the Megas anyway. But that was essential. That had to be taken out. Keeps Team 2 in the game. They basically had nothing else to stop it. Very nice indeed. Exited tells his allies they seem to be struggling a lot. Nothing like boosting the morale of your team who are task saturated in trying to repair holes in the defenses. And looks like they're actually going to use this arse washer to take out these two loyalists on the run by. There goes the bomb, and it's a ground fire attack. Down go the two loyalists, and if Team 2 were aware that there was an arse washer, they are now. And it actually looks like they may even be thinking about attacking it. And once again, Kelly, I really like this. A few units here trying to prevent Luca from getting all this reclaim for free. There was so much action over here. So much mass. Percy's firing against the shield. Finally breaking through. Wow, this megalith here, 194 kills. Granted, most of that is going to have been crap and all, but that's going to get 200 kills very soon. Comes out of the drink to be immediately engaged by a load of Tech 2 gunships. We've got Tech 1 bombers, we've got Restorers, Tech 3 gunships, we've got an Ambassador or two that's no doubt going to start dropping some stuff off. There we go. And like that, the megalith is already down to, it's about a third of its health gone. We've got a fatty here, and Flying Olsen, very cheeky with his trying to establish the land stuff here. No doubt trying to overwhelm the defenses of Team 2. Megalith now under 50% health. It's going to get the H. It's going to get the HQ that ways. Down to a third health. Takes out the what remains of the flying of the air grid there, belonging to Kelly. Fatty moving in from Kelly. I don't think he's going to last too much longer, but having taken out the air grid, I feel that that Mega, 240 kills or not, has done its job. Well played, Mr. Megalith. Exited says guerrilla tactics at its best. Apologies for missing this run by a little sooner. I like what I see. It was, you know, it's never really recovered after that nuke. And Kelly has kept the pressure on. And if they can force it, it's not going to happen. I was going to say, if they can force this bomber to try and attack one of these units, it's going to take out 99 of its own for every one of the enemy. And despite my concerns 5 or 10 minutes ago, it almost feels like it's tipping in Team 2's direction again. They feel like they're moving air around the map with, I was going to say with impunity. Not quite, but the next best thing. And once again, Kelly, just with a handful of units, keeping the pressure on in the back of Team 1's base. Team 1, meanwhile, doing away with the extreme western flank of Team 2's base. I think they're going to get it. Strats used defensively, taking out spam. And the chicken bot, perfect counter to this Tech 1 spam. Able to put out a lot of damage, a lot of splash damage. And a continuous, or near continuous rate of fire. Seems the priority is to deal with these factories from Flying Olsen. Breeks wandering on in. Once again from Kelly into the back of Team 1's base. Aeon Bomber used defensively, perfectly placed bomb takes out all the invading forces from Kelly while retaining what was left of Flying Olsen's base. Now he does have a fair bit of build power, but Flying Olsen a shadow of what he was prior to that nuke going in. Probably that nuke is what tipped the game in favor of Team 2 big time. And what looks like now Tech 3 artillery, and it is Tech 3 artillery raining down into the back of Team 1's base, who look very strong. And here goes the arse washer going down for free. Wreck hits the side of the mountain, not even the wreck managing to pick up a kill that time. And at this point, Team 1, despite the morale boost coming from the guy beyond the grave, are going to start and feel like time is starting to run out. Yeah, Luca's still playing a blinder, but just doesn't feel like he's got enough support anymore coming through. Flying Olsen, who was doing wonders throughout the game, has just no longer got the economy or the build power to continue to remain relevant, it seems. Yeah, Kelly. Well, Luca moving out with a few ASF to take on these restorers, not before losing the chicken bot. And now the Ion Storm's going to grab yet more of what few units he's got left. We've got some broadswords ways over here, but it's like the ASF are going to go down there to Kelly's vastly superior air force. Flying Olsen with a solitary whaler wailing away. A little run by here from Kelly. And is this Tech 3 artillery trying to ground fire on the... Or is he going after the undefended... potentially going after the undefended ion reactor there. And just missing. Nice fatty raining long-range artillery down on the supporting lightning tanks that were sent out to try and defend these two chickens. Sea Force just going massive on the reclaim, and with all that reclaim, he's going to be able to carry on spamming out these long-range artilleries, nukes, experimentals. Kelly once again into the back of Flying Olsen's base, who's only just, I was going to say, gotten established. Not even that. He was trying to get established for the umpteenth time. Does have a couple of Othams here. Heg 3 RT raining down on his base and all. Flying Olsen has got to be feeling like, where's my towel? Where's my towel? Get the window on. I'm getting ready. But not yet. Anything else down here? Looks like Team 2 firmly in control of their front line now. Sending a mixture of spam, couple of bricks trickling into Team 1's base that's in complete disarray. Yet another nuke going after Flying Olsen. Well, if he didn't feel like quitting before, he's going to feel like quitting when this thing lands. And if he ain't careful, Mega's going to go with it. It's extremely close to that nuke. Here it comes. Question is, does the Mega die? Well, he's trying to save it. And Mega does manage to get away, losing just about 15-20% of his health. And Flying Olsen now, what's he got left? 30 some mass per tick. That is it. Air engages have been going Team 2's way for a while now. Luca just chucking out isolated ASF. Scouts. Scout more if we can, says Accident Leon. So it looks like these guys not giving up. Azuros for Team 2 says Scout. Everybody says Scout. I want intel. I want intel now. Let's see what these guys can actually see. Well, this is what Team 2 can see. Oh my goodness! Flying Olsen manages to pick off Luca. And there's the end of the game. What happened there? You teleported too close to the Tech 1 PD. Yes, granted, but who's the winner there? Did everybody just die at the same time? What the hell? I've never seen an end like this. I get it, he telemasered in. He managed to get the kill. There's a row of T1 PD that kill him in return. Well, there's your answer. C-Force is still there, even though it's showing dead. I guess Luca threw in the towel after his pal died. I mean, yeah, there's no coming back from that. Well played, everybody. It was an amazing game. Did feel like I have to say, Luca just kept on pushing and pushing and pushing. It was a shame he couldn't just push enough to get his pal back into the game because, Team 2 were using standoff weapons, T3RT, nukes, and a constant run-bys from Kelly there, preventing Flying Olsen ever getting back in the game. What a game. Best player of the match. Well, I'd have to say it's between, to me, even though they're a losing team, it feels, I'm going to say it, Flying Olsen, player of the game, was doing amazing work until he got nuked, and unfortunately, he couldn't get back into the game after that. He was trying, but the other team were just relentless in pursuing his base. Yeah, so player of the game, Flying Olsen. Well done, mate. Well done, everybody else. And hope you're all doing well. That's going to be it from me. today. I need to rest my voice. And until next time, guys, take care. Wherever in the world you may be, good morning, afternoon, good evening, and good night.